Am I the asshole for declining to attend my sister's wedding because she won't let me bring my sons? I'm B, 32, and I've got two boys, Tommy, who is 4, and Robert, who is 6. My sister Angela, who is 28, is getting married in a few months, and she's made it very clear that her wedding is going to be child-free. No exceptions. She told me it's because she and her fiancé want an adult theme. They want to dance, drink, and have fun without having to worry about kids running around or causing any disruptions. Angela even offered to pay for a babysitter for the day, which, to be fair, is considerate. But I've always brought my boys to family events, and I feel like this isn't just about wanting an adult-only wedding. I believe she doesn't want my kids there because of some issues we've had in the past when visiting her home. There have been a few incidents, I'll admit, but they're kids, and accidents happen. On one visit, Tommy, in one of his mischievous moods, found Angela's expensive necklace and flushed it down the toilet. We couldn't recover it, and Angela was furious. It was a family heirloom, and I understand why she was upset, but Tommy is a curious little boy. He didn't know any better. Another time, Robert got his hands on some finger paints I had brought along to keep him entertained. While I was distracted, he smeared paint all over Angela's living room wall. She had just redone the place, so, of course, she was livid. I cleaned it up as best I could, but the tension between us after that incident was undeniable. At a family dinner last year, Tommy knocked over a glass of red wine that Angela had set out for herself. It spilled all over her brand new white carpet, and no matter how much we tried to clean it, the stain wouldn't come out. Again, I understand why she was mad, but kids are clumsy. It wasn't done on purpose. To make matters worse, Angela has always been vocal about her disapproval of me still breastfeeding Tommy. He's 4, and while I know not everyone agrees with extended breastfeeding, it's my choice as his mother. I occasionally nurse him for comfort, and Angela is highly opposed to it. She's made snide remarks about how it's weird and inappropriate whenever she sees me do it. I can't help but feel that part of the reason she doesn't want my kids at the wedding is to avoid the possibility of me breastfeeding Tommy there. So when Angela made it clear that my boys weren't invited, I declined the invitation altogether. I told her that if my kids weren't welcome, then I wouldn't be attending. I love my sister, but I'm a mother first, and I feel like excluding my children from such a big family event is hurtful. I want to celebrate with her, but not if it means leaving my boys behind. My parents are furious with me. They've told me to get a damn babysitter or else, and that I'm making this all about me when it's Angela's day. They think I'm overreacting and being selfish by putting my foot down, but I feel like I'm standing up for my kids. I would be more than happy to attend if Tommy and Robert could come, but I'm not going to leave them behind just because Angela doesn't want to deal with the potential for chaos. So am I the asshole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding unless my boys are invited? Or am I justified in standing up for my kids? Update. I took my boys to my sister's wedding anyway, and it went worse than expected. So I decided to take my boys to my sister Angela's wedding after all, despite her insisting on a child-free event. I know what you're thinking. Probably not the best idea. But in my heart, I felt like it was important for my boys to be there. They're family, and I didn't want them excluded from such a big day. So I planned it carefully. We didn't show up before the ceremony. I timed it so that Angela had already walked down the aisle. The service was in progress, and everything seemed calm and beautiful. She looked lovely, by the way, and honestly, I was proud of her in that moment. I just didn't want to miss this family event over a rule that I didn't think was fair. We snuck in and sat quietly in the back row. No one even noticed we were there at first. Tommy, my 4-year-old, got a little restless, as expected. He crawled under the pew in front of us, and that's when things took a bit of a turn. The person sitting in front didn't realize he was there and accidentally kicked him in the head when Tommy startled them. Of course, Tommy started to cry. He's only 4 after all, but I quickly breastfed him, and he quieted down almost immediately. Honestly, I was pretty impressed by how well he handled it. He showed a lot of restraint for a kid his age, and I thought things were going to be okay from that point on. But then, after the ceremony, things escalated. Angela came storming over as soon as she saw us. She looked livid and told me in no uncertain terms that we needed to leave immediately. She wasn't just annoyed, she was furious that I had ignored her no kids rule. And to make matters worse, she had our parents back her up. My dad, of all people, grabbed me by the elbow and started dragging me out of the venue. It was humiliating, to be honest, but I wasn't going to go quietly. I'm their mother, and I have every right to be there with my children. While we were in the middle of this tussle, Robert, my 6-year-old, saw Angela and went over to her for a hug. He just wanted to greet his aunt. He loves her after all. But in his excitement, he accidentally stepped on the train of her gown. None of us realized it until it was too late. Angela took a step forward, and that's when we all heard the fabric rip. Her beautiful wedding dress tore right down the back, and it wouldn't have been so bad if she hadn't been wearing these flesh-tone undergarments that made it look like she was naked under there. The entire room gasped. My new brother-in-law was furious. He immediately grabbed both my boys, one under each arm, and bodily tried to remove them from the venue. I know it sounds extreme, but I think he was just reacting out of frustration. In that moment, though, something primal came over me. The mama bear instinct kicked in, and I screamed. I wasn't going to let anyone manhandle my kids like that. Everyone in the church turned to look. The tension in the room was palpable. I could tell some people were on my side, though. A couple of my brother-in-law's friends actually stepped forward to help. They took the boys from him, and I think they thought he was going to hurt them. They were 100% on my side. I could feel it. They weren't okay with how he was handling the situation, and I appreciated their support. In the chaos, Angela was in tears. My mom was frantically trying to lead her to the back of the church to sew up her dress, and I was left standing there with my boys, unsure of how things had gone so wrong so quickly. I still don't understand why Angela was so dead set against having kids at the wedding. Yes, things can get a little chaotic when kids are around, but that's just life. You can't expect them to be quiet and perfectly behaved all the time. Things happen, and they're family. Isn't that what matters most? As I left the venue with my boys in tow, I couldn't shake the feeling that this whole situation could have been avoided if Angela had just been more understanding. We're family, and families are messy sometimes. Kids aren't perfect, but neither are weddings. It's part of the charm, isn't it? Angela may not see it that way, but I still stand by my decision to bring my boys. It was important for them to be there, and I'm their mother. No one's going to make me feel guilty for that. Final update. My family has been excluding me since the wedding incident. So it's been a few weeks since the whole wedding situation, and things haven't exactly gotten better. In fact, they've gotten worse. Ever since that day, it feels like the rest of my family has started to leave me and my boys out of everything. I don't know if it's because of what happened with Angela's dress, or if they're just mad that I brought my kids to a child-free wedding, but I've been feeling completely iced out. I found out through a random comment on Facebook that my parents had hosted a big family dinner a couple of weekends ago. Angela, her husband, and a few cousins were all there. I saw the photos. Everyone looked like they were having a great time. But we weren't invited, not even a heads up. My cousin threw a birthday party for her 10-year-old daughter last weekend, and I had no idea about it until I saw the pictures on social media. My boys would have loved to be there. They're close in age to her daughter, but we weren't even told about it. This one stung because our kids usually play together, and they weren't even given the chance to attend. The most hurtful thing of all is that I've already overheard my parents and siblings talking about Christmas plans, and no one has reached out to me to coordinate anything. I'm sure they're planning something, but I haven't been asked what our plans are or whether we'd like to join. It's like they've decided I don't exist anymore. I feel completely slighted by the whole situation. I get that the wedding didn't go as smoothly as Angela wanted, but excluding me and my boys from family events, that's extreme. Last week, I actually decided to meet up with Angela to talk things over, hoping we could clear the air. I figured she might still be mad, but I wanted to try to make peace. We met for coffee, and she wasted no time letting me know exactly how angry she still is. Apparently, she had to change out of her wedding dress after Robert accidentally stepped on the train and ripped it. I knew that much already, but she went into more detail about how the whole incident had ruined her night. She told me she had been planning to do her first dance with her husband in that long, flowy dress, and they'd even worked the train into their dance routine. When the dress ripped, she was devastated and had to change into her departure dress early. I didn't think it was that bad because I'd seen the pictures of the dress she ended up wearing. It was still flowy and pretty, stopping just around her knees with a cute little matching jacket. Honestly, it looked great on her, and I don't understand why she's acting like the night was a total disaster because of it. I told her I didn't think it was such a big deal. After all, she did have a backup dress, but Angela wasn't having it. She went on and on about how her vision for the night was ruined and how much that dress meant to her. She said it wasn't just about the dress, but the memories she was supposed to make in it, and that having to change into the departure dress threw off the entire vibe she'd planned. Then she dropped the real bombshell. Angela wants me to reimburse her for the wedding dress. She said she won't speak to me or attend any future family events where I'll be present until I give her the money to either repair or replace it. I was shocked. I mean, it's a wedding dress, something you wear once. I don't understand why she needs it fixed. Why spend all that money on something you're never going to wear again? Isn't that just a waste? I didn't say that to her face, but I was thinking it the whole time. It's not like I deliberately ruined her dress. It was an accident. Robert is 6. He didn't mean to step on the train. And frankly, she's acting like this is all my fault, but kids are kids. Accidents happen. I can't control every single thing they do. I just wanted to be there for her on her special day, and my boys were just being themselves. I left that meeting feeling even more confused. I understand that she's upset, but it feels like this has been blown way out of proportion. Now she's holding this dress situation over my head and essentially blackmailing me into paying her back if I ever want to be part of the family again. At this point, I'm not sure what to do. I'm feeling really hurt and excluded. My boys miss their family, and so do I. It's not like I have thousands of dollars lying around to give Angela for a dress that was only going to be worn once anyway. So, am I really the asshole here? Should I pay her for the dress to make peace, or is Angela overreacting? I'm at a loss. I didn't mean for any of this to happen, but now I feel like I'm being blamed for things that are just part of life when you have kids. What would you do? Let me know in the comments. Let's discuss it.